we supposed to wash it before we touch it?
Huh?
Does it smell like that?
It's go like, dirt.
Take care, as long as you don't smell like a rodent.
Yeah, because you handle one snake and then you handle the next, do they sense that another snake's been around?
They don't seem to care.
Okay.
The only thing is if you have a bunch of snakes like I do, oh, I did. I'm like, wait a minute, how come there's no knot here? I untied it. When you have a bunch of snakes like I do, you have a quarantine area.
Okay.
When you get new snakes, you don't want to handle those snakes around the rest of the other snakes that you have that are established in your care. Because disease passes, you can have stuff like I ended up with a few years ago, IBD. But all of these snakes are established in my care, and they're all healthy.
Okay. What's IBD?
It's like snake AIDS. It's inclusion body disease. It's a retrovirus. And there is no cure. It's very contagious. And it means death.
What's the name?
Yep.
I have another question. I thought you mentioned you had a lot of cats, and not trying to be funny, but is there like, do you have to protect the snakes from the cats or vice versa?
The snakes are in cages,
Okay.
so the cats don't bother them. So I'll see if I can get him to.
Because it
Okay.
seems like a cat would really want to pounce on something like that. It moves around and it's...
So he's roughly holding onto my arm, kind of. Okay, and this is what they would do to a tree. So basically, the only reason that they let me handle it is I'm their tree. I'm their tree. And
What
he's
kind
been,
is that one?
this is the Burmese. Like the one that killed the 2-year-old. He's so vicious.
And how much does yours weigh?
I haven't weighed him, I'd say 5 or 6 pounds.
Okay.
But I mean, if I stretch him out, he's only about as tall as I am.
Yeah.
Maybe
so the
10.
one in the news that killed the child that should have weighed close to 100 pounds, how long would that one have probably been?
9-ish pounds. Or
I mean
9-ish,
like how?
9-ish feet.
Really?
He will probably top out at 15 feet, about that big around, and a little over 100 pounds.
That species?
What's their
That's
growth rate?
dangerous.
Like,
It depends on how fast you feed them.
oh yeah.
Will they grow like fish to fit their environment?
No,
No.
they'll grow out with their environment. So,
Look, it's
But-
breathing.
yeah.
That happens.
Do you guys have any other questions?
Wow. It's very cool.
I have one other question, and this might be hard to answer, but I'm just curious how many different species or breeds of python? These are pythons, not anacondas, right?
This is a python, that's a python, this is a boa constrictor. And
Oh, there's
anacondas are
boas,
from the boa
pythons, and
constrictor
anacondas.
family.
So how many different breeds
There
of these
is
boas are there?
so many different, you can get into the tree pythons that actually do love their trees. And you can get into, you know, you have your smallest, which is usually the ball python. Then you have the burns, then you have reticulated pythons. Then you have all the tree pythons that I don't know anything about because I don't have any of them. But there's
Now,
quite
do
a
people keep
different.
all those types for pets, or there's some
Yeah.
that aren't pets?
The African rock python isn't really more of a pet, it's a really aggressive snake.
And anacondas, people don't keep those. Right?
Some do.
Where's its heart and stuff at?
In the first third of its body, I believe. Somewhere around here would be his.
Is it
And their lungs,
chunks or-
yeah, they poop like chihuahuas when they're big. Like chihuahua-sized poops.
Yeah, my snake poops chihuahuas.
This one here, I have a nice big poop to clean out of her cage. They're long and they're furry because, you know, the fur helps keep the poop together.
Furry poop.
It's furry poop because you feed them furry rats.
Yeah, well, I guess cold.
And their lungs run pretty much the length of their body.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Can they swim?
Yes,
Can all snakes swim?
I think.
Oh.
I know more about what I've got, but I
Yeah.
think.
I mean, of all the types that all the pythons or whatever, those chickens.
And you know, boas are from a different family. Boas and pythons are different. Pythons lay eggs, boas give live birth.
Oh, didn't know that.
What else?
Did you say pythons lay eggs?
Pythons lay eggs, boas give live birth.
That big one was a boa, the first one?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the one that just had me 17 babies.
That's a live bird.
Wow.
These lay eggs,
That was a little litter. Yes, and these lay eggs.
Did they
so you
eat
have
them?
to put a male in there to fertilize the eggs?
Well, no, they actually do what's called copulation. They actually have snake sex.
Okay.
And the male,
Well, cause like fish, sometimes they lay an egg and the male will
you
come
see
up
the
later.
spurs?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, right here.
That's a male?
This is a male. And their hemipens, which is their man parts, their penises, run the length of their tail. So he's too strong, but if I had a smaller one, I could pull them out and show. But, you know, he's a little too big. Right now, you'd only be able to probe him, so you'd stick something down there to see how long you could.
That just sounds like, yeah. Is that like sending, you know, the poor guys and we have to do the two-finger exams? They're all just.
Maybe. Maybe.
You gotta
But,
get
You know, we
They're-
probe everything, I guess.
Here's his spur. He knows his will get bigger as he matures.
So he uses those to hold on to the female?
Well, what he does is he uses these to stroke the female, to stroke her back. And then when she's ready, sorry.
It's
When she's ready, then he actually takes his hemipens and puts them into her to fertilize the eggs. Or fertilize her eggs or ovum that turn into babies.
So then she'll lay fertilized eggs and guard them for X number of weeks or something,
In
right?
captivity, they put them into an incubator.
Cause they'll eat them otherwise, or
No, they give them a better chance of survival. Because it's more of a monetary thing. You don't wanna have one egg survive and the rest of them die when you have 7 eggs. Or in the Burmese case, 50 eggs.
Wow. How many weeks does it take?
For the boa, 105 to 125 days for them to lay their babies. For the Burmese, I think it's around, or for the eggs is around 105 days, depending on the species.
Before you put that one away, can I hang on to it and take my picture real quick?
Yeah, me too.